Hello and welcome to this FPL Double Game Week 7 team selection with me, Holly Shand. I've got some big bench dilemmas to figure out this week. That bench boost chip is looking at me. Help me get this one to 500 likes. Subscribe to the channel as well if you don't already. Let's get into it. Starting off with how my game week 6 went then. I played the wild card. I finished on 75 points, which, crazy thing is, was a red arrow. Only a small red arrow though, down about 12k places. So I can take that. Johnston to Flecken didn't work out too well, with Flecken failing to keep the clean sheet, but it was the defence that I really needed on wildcard, and they delivered. A Stupinan and Cash with 6 pointers, Botman with 12 as well, and pretty good performances from my midfield as well. Salah, Saka, both double digits. Maddison smashed it as well, and Bomo and Diaby disappointed though. Could there be a potential route to Son very, very soon? Alvarez, the curse of the most transferred in player, but I'm not worried about that. And a return from Captain Haaland. Got the players to start and the players to bench absolutely right this week. So I'm still inside the top 1 million, which 6 game weeks in is a pretty good place to be. So not worried about that at all. And I'm going into game week 7 with 1 free transfer, 1.5 million in the bank as well. So a little bit of flexibility. Now, before making transfers this week, just a reminder, we've got 17 Premier League teams involved in Carabao Cup third round action on Tuesday and Wednesday evening. Recording this video, of course, on Tuesday morning as normal, but my encouragement for you guys is to hold on to those transfers until later in the week, if you possibly can, particularly if you're owner of a Maddison, because he's currently yellow flagged, which does provide us with a few headaches for how to approach this game week. So unless you've got exact funds, don't make the transfers yet, because information is far more valuable than building up some team value by going early with those transfers. My transfer plans then, I always try and aim to bank a transfer the week after playing the wild card. So providing Maddison is fit and available for game week 7, that's what I'll likely do. If he isn't, then I could go sideways to Son, but I do have a potential move to Son in a few weeks' time. The plan was always to go Diaby and a Stupinan out for Son and a 4 million defender if there's no other issues by game week 8 or 9. I could always sell Mbomo as well, who's been a little bit disappointing in the last couple of games. So a bit of a decision to make there. But right now I'm thinking roll the transfer. That gives me 2 free transfers. So I could potentially make the move for Son next week if I wanted to. Definitely by game week 9. Because I played the wild card, I don't want to... I decided not to have Morris on wildcard. I could have afforded him because I didn't want to have to make the sideways move back to Archer in a few weeks' time to move funds elsewhere. So I'm not going to be bringing in any additional double game week 7 assets. I think Archer or Mubama to Morris is fine if you can wildcard out of that situation. But having played my wildcard, I don't think that's a sensible move for me. Team selection then, and first of all, a headache on which goalkeeper to start. I've got Flecken away at Nottingham Forest, Areola at home to Sheffield United. I'm always tempted to give the home player the advantage here. And Sheffield United, 3 away goals in 3 away games this season. Not the most attacking of sides. Nottingham Forest, I expect to score at home to Brentford. So it's Areola that gets the nod, with Flecken dropping to the bench. Now, I've also got a big benching decision in my defence because I've got Botman's obviously going to start at home to Burnley. I've got to start Burke, who has the double game week. Everton away, Burnley at home. But that means I've got to bench either Cash or a Stupinan. Now, these two play each other kind of similar in terms of their attacking threat. Again, I'm tempted to give the advantage to the home player. So I think I'm going to start Cash and bench Estepinian. Udogie on my bench with Liverpool at home. It's at this point that I think I should have been thinking on my wild card, can I bench boost in game week 7? Because if Udogie was another Newcastle defender, a Burn, a Share, I think it would have been strong enough to play the bench boost. I could have had Morris up top instead of Archer and bench boosted, but I didn't plan for it. And I am tempted to keep the bench boost for later in the season anyway. So my bench is probably going to punish me this week, but it's got to be done. So we've got, moving into the midfield, I think it's fairly obvious who starts and who misses out. So we've got Mbomo, Salah, Saka, Diaby and Maddison. Obviously, Salah and Maddison face off, both in fantastic form. I can just see goals in that game, Spurs v Liverpool. The rest of my midfield have got favourable fixtures, I'd say. Brighton for Diaby, but home game. Saka travels to Bournemouth, great fixture. And Bomo should do well against Nottingham Forest away as well. And then I've got Alvarez and Haaland up front, Wolves away. Another solid fixture for them with Archer on the bench. So a really strong 11 this week. Interestingly, I put this team through the Rate My Team on Fantasy Football Hub. Got a team rating of 94%, a game week rating of 84%. That's because I've not got more double game week players. But it's important to accept that even though the double game week 7 fixtures are tempting for Luton and Burnley players, you're not going to want them long term. So you can't sacrifice the long term well-being of your squad just by targeting this double game week. So I think it's absolutely fine in there to be in that position. 67.1 predicted points for this week. Interestingly, I did ask for the AI transfers as well. The recommendation was to go from Maddison to Son or Saka to Son, which is an interesting one. I don't really want to lose either of those players to get Son in when I know I've got a route to them in a week or two's time. The other option, of course, to bank the transfer. So it'll be interesting to see who AI recommends me to sell to get Son in game week 8, or whether I wait till game week 9 for that move. When it comes to captaincy, I think we've learnt our lesson that Haaland is the best captain pick. You know, Saka away at Bournemouth could be a potential option as an alternative. I think if you've got Morris, it becomes a more difficult decision. But Hub AI is predicting that Haaland will outscore Morris, which is quite significant. So don't be blinded by the double game week, because we've been here before. Haaland, a great fixture, best player in the Premier League. He can do great things for FPL points in 90 minutes that other strikers cannot even do in 180 minutes. So I think it's obvious you give Haaland the armband this week and you enjoy the points that he delivers. I've been shortlisted as a finalist at the Football Content Awards for Best in Fantasy Football Video. So if you've enjoyed my content this season, remember you can vote using the link in the description to this video. Really appreciate anyone that takes time out to do that. Lots of categories. You don't need to fill everything in. You can go straight to Best in Fantasy Football to give your vote for me there. Get your transfer dilemmas in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of them. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, give it a like. Let's get to 500 likes and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for watching.